Ever feel like the world just doesn't get introverts? You're not alone. Welcome to the Stay Introverted podcast. We're your hosts, Steph Jay and Jay Coleman, here to dive into life from an introvert's perspective.
Each week we break down everything, from relationships and work to social dynamics and self-care, all while busting myths, sharing personal stories, and celebrating the quiet power of introversion. So, if you're ready to embrace your introverted side, let's get into it.
All right. Welcome everyone to the podcast. I'm Jay, of course. Steph, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. It's February, which is awesome because I feel like January is the longest year ever. Every year.
It really is. It's the longest Monday ever.
That's exactly. You know what? That's exactly.
The Monday-ist Monday.
Yes, it's January is the Monday of months.
Yeah, 100%. So we got through it. So now we're in Tuesday, which kind of sucks even more, but it's okay.
Yes, hopefully it won't suck as much. But before we launch into how much we love days and months, let's introduce our, our guest. We met through our mutual content daddy, as he's known, Mighty Woodard, in our content co-pilot course. But I like to introduce my friend, Miss Frenchie. How are you?
I am wonderful. How about you guys? Thank you for having me, by the way.
Thank you for coming. We're good, Steph.
So good. We're doing great.
Yes.
Yes, it's good to have you on the podcast. So as I was saying, Frenchie and I met a few months ago, and I guess it's called a content co-pilot, a kind of content creation course with the content daddy, as some people call him, Mighty Woodard. So, in addition to learning how to make great content using AI, I think we also created great and hopefully long-lasting friendships out of that. So we kind of have we've made like our own content support group, which is what I call it. And so hopefully we'll be meeting more. But enough about that. Frenchie, why don't you tell some of the folks just who you are, your business, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much. And that's what I love about the group that we were in, is that we were generally uplifting each other through, the course. And it becomes, now doing some other collab outside of, that course. So that's what I love the most about, doing those courses, is the people that you're going to meet. So that means a lot. Hi everybody, my name is Frenchie, aka the Dot Connector. I'm a business strategist. This is a big word, but basically I help you mind your business. This is the name of my business, literally. I help entrepreneur and aspiring entrepreneur grow, scale, and build proper foundation in their business so they can last. Most of the time, people do not have proper structure, and that's okay if you don't know, but I'm here to put you on the right path so your business can grow properly. Sometimes system and processes are something that we are not thinking when we are starting a business. We go straight from the idea to getting on LLC, and we know very little about the impact of how your foundation and your structure of your business will help you along the run to grow properly or to even stay in business. So that's where I had to go through this myself, and I saw that there was plenty of business coach, but they were going straight to the growth and not even taking care of the foundation part. And because I had to go through it myself as an immigrant entrepreneur, don't know nothing about that. I just knew that I was good at helping people. I was like, well, this is going to be what I'm going to be excelling at, is making sure that everyone who's building something that means a lot to them, because when we start a business, because we're passionate about our idea, right? Is to make sure that they can continue to live off their passion. So that's what I'm doing. I help you guys, or any entrepreneur with the back end of the business. So that's part of what works the best with being an introvert, you know, AKA I gotta be extrovert, to do what I do, is because I really concentrate on what's the back end. So I don't need to be seen to perform, if that makes sense. So, ooh, that was a
Absolutely.
mouthful.
You're like the puppet master.
The what?
The puppet master. You're like
Yes.
kind of, yeah, I love that.
Yes.
I'm actually for work, I do behind the scenes. I
Hmm.
help our trading and commercial teams sort of run their businesses efficiently.
Hmm.
So I kind of do a similar thing with helping them get their systems up and running.
Wow.
Um, and I love it as an
Yeah.
introvert as well.
Right.
Um, because so many people don't realize, like, you can be making all the money in the world, or you can have all the best ideas, but if you don't have them organized or operating in a way that is like cohesive,
Hmm.
your business is standing on faulty ground, and that's like the worst thing that you could do.
Yeah, or I've seen it before is people who had the amazing ideas or build a business for 10, 11 years, and because they lack of understanding the proper foundation, they couldn't grow anymore, or one little thing like not understanding contract or not understanding the importance of having insurance or
Mm,
business insurance wiped out the entire thing, and they went
yeah,
either bankrupt or they had to close down the business. And
right. All it takes is one thing.
exactly, and not being prepared, right? So
Hmm.
so that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm like, a lot of people in the business industry, it's very like flashy, fancy people telling you I'm a business coach and but I'm like, no, let's slow down and see where how you get there. Let's make sure that everything is secure so then we can go there, because most of the time when you grow, you expose yourself more, right? So when you expose
Right,
yourself more, you have a lot of people who are malintended, and they will either trademark your stuff. So all the work that you've done, now you can't, or you have to pay them royalty, or they stop you in your track and they take your ideas. Or
right,
you see what I mean? Or
Yeah.
so it can really have, I mean, you would want to grow, but you want to make sure before you do that, are you ready to grow at the pace that you want before you do it?
right,
So it doesn't, have the domino effect on. Does
right.
that make sense?
That makes total sense.
Absolutely.
So,
If you had to
mhm.
say, like, oh, sorry,
No, no,
I
you're
didn't mean to
fine.
cut you off. If
No,
you had to say, like, the number, like, the two or three top things that are, like, the most critical that a lot of people are lacking, what do you think they are?
not
Sorry
having
to
a
put you on the
budget.
spot.
One is not having a budget.
Mm.
So there you go. It's not having a budget. So they go straight to going in business, and it's so easy in the US. A lot of stuff are easy to do in the US. You can literally overnight be making a lot of money or changing your lifestyle overnight, right? Creating your business, create an LLC, you just go to your Secretary of State, or even the worst part is go and do legal Zoom stuff, right? You give all your information and you pay $500, which is way too overpriced, and they give you your LLC, registered with an EIN and all that kind of stuff, right? But you have no idea how it took or what needs to be done in order to do that. So first, you lacking really being in control of your business, because you give out all your personal information and just hope that they're going to do it right, right? And then you still don't know that annually you have to file a report. So I would say this to, sum up, as one is not having a budget, because creating a business, you need to know what it's going to take financially to start a business. 80% of businesses fail the first 2 years of being in business because of funding and financial literacy. So that's that. Two is, I've talked to businesses who want to hire me for marketing or things like that, but I realized that they don't even know what budget they should allocate to this. And then they pay me with their own personal money when it's supposed to be for your business. So that clearly tells me that no budget has been established and you're not going to sustain like this. You get what I'm saying? Or commingling and not even having a business bank account, like very small. It might sound obvious, right? But a lot of people are starting on the go, which is not bad, but you want to, within the first year, correct that. Because if the way you're going to handle your personal finance is going to reflect how you're going to handle your business finance. So you don't want to portray the same bad habit that you can have financially, personally into your business. So if you can,
Wow.
does that make sense?
I felt very called out. This is exactly where my business failed. I tried to start a business when my personal finances were a shit show, had no idea how to budget. And then I took that same energy, exactly what you're saying, into my business, didn't separate it, made a complete mess. And I'm lucky that I survived to tell the story on my
Yes.
podcast. But please listen to Frenchie if you are starting a business or have a business, because let me tell you, it ain't fun.
Yes. But I don't want to sound like I got it all right from the beginning.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
I
just saying, like
totally,
at the basic level, like I fully yes, I needed
right?
you. Like where were you 4 years ago when I needed you?
But I did the same type of error, like same thing. I put my home address as
Mm,
the name of the business when I register the business. That's a huge no-no. You don't want to do that. Any entity is a public information. So I was like, what? Like everybody can see where I live, who's the owner,
right.
like the whole Shazam, right? So legal protection was zero. And then like I said, a lot of malattended people. Some people, that's their business. Your lack of knowledge is their business. They make
Wow.
money out of your lack of knowledge. So you're going to receive a whole bunch of stuff in the mail, because they find out that you just created a business and they tell you, oh, it's just $25. You need to have this license, that license. As a brand new business owner, you're like, oh, I got to be, straight. So I'm going to pay this. That's just
Right.
$25. And we don't even pay attention if this is real, if this is really needed, if you get what I'm saying.
That is
So
so, yeah, that is so
scamming,
true.
Remember all
right?
the papers we got when we started Stay Introverted?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when I started my business, when we started the podcast, like, yeah, our email, our inbox, my mailbox was just full of get this certificate, get this license,
You
get all,
see?
get all of this. And
Right?
they look so official because they have like the little flag and the eagle
Yep.
and the little, they just
But
like,
if
it
you
looks,
look closer, for example, I'm in Illinois, and so I help entrepreneurs from the get go. Like I have a 4-week program for that for people who are thinking about it or who wants to strengthen that. So we go week by week, and so I dissect the whole thing. And I was telling them, like I let them know in advance. So if you are within the I will warn you of all those things, but I teach them what to look for and not to operate the business out of, well, I just have to do this because they tell me I need to. You have to comprehend and understand if you, one, really need that license, really need to pay this, what law says that I have to do that. Is this really for me? Uh, every LLC is completely different, right? What I do is different than what you guys do, or what Jay is doing with his own brand for the closing, right? So it requires different things and different legal component. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all those things. So I would say, so the budget, right? And like I said, within the first year, if you can get this, in order, or reach out to somebody that can help you, the first thing that can be done, we in the era of information is free, but information can be crap too. So you have to really be have a good discernment of, is it too good to be true, or being mentally strong enough to resist to the easy route, because the easy route don't exist.
Right.
It doesn't. right? So
So you're saying I shouldn't do a get rich quick thing. It's not gonna work out.
I'm
I'm
not
just
saying
kidding.
that quick things are always bad. I'm saying
Yeah.
to use discernment before
Hmm.
you do the quick thing. If some
I
things
like
don't
that.
don't take too long, you can grow your business. You can grow your business credit within the first year. I've done that, but that's because I
Mm.
leveraged, because I understood and I talked to bankers. So the biggest thing with me is that I will ask gazillion questions. And I
Hmm.
was like, to the point that some people, they were tired of me. So I was like, but why do I need to do this? And well, this, do I need that? Oh, you don't need this, but why I don't need it? And then
Right.
you see what I mean? So I've been asking, and I still ask a lot of questions to professionals. So for example, tomorrow I have lunch with a banker, the director of the bank
Okay.
of BMO. So sometimes just having like those conversation and keeping in check with professionals in the industry that help us, right? We all need business credit, business funding, right? Unless you had stash of money when you started your business, but most of the time we personally found our business. I kept my job for 18 months before I quit and be full-time entrepreneur. So
Hmm.
my last job funded my business. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Absolutely.
that's all those things. So no one's going to be perfect. I definitely was not perfect. I had to change a lot of things in my structure, but that comes with talking to people and asking the proper questions. So I would say in that fashion, I was really not an introvert. But sometimes it can be emails. I was just emailing
Right.
people and asking. Um, so that was one. The second one is understanding, like I said, is looking at what are the requirements when you run your business. A lot of people think that just filing your LLC is enough, but then there is an annual report that needs to be filed every year. And if you don't do that, then the state is going to say, well, we don't even know if this business still exists or is still running because you're not letting us know that you're still alive, right? So, and then they want that piece of the monopoly. Every year you go and you pay to continue to play in that monopoly. So that whatever
Right.
50, $75 to $100, depending on the state, you have to pay your annual report. I had a client before, 2 years ago, that I met at Maddie's event back in Atlanta, who hired me to help him with business funding. And the first thing I do is check their, structure. I was like, dude, you don't have a business. Your business is dissolved since a year and a half. No, I'm not. Yes, you are.
No.
So he didn't know. I was like, did you do your annual report? He was like, what is that? And so same thing, because he moved, he used his home or his apartment. So when it was, they send you that, hey, reminder in 3 months, within 3 months, you have to file your annual report. It was sent to an obsolete address. So he never got the notification and he was not knowledgeable of that. So he was continuing his fitness business. He was sole proprietor for like,
Wow.
you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I'm not trying to scare people. I'm trying to provide tangible example that they can say that could be me, or let me check this, you know? So that's where I realized that I was good at all the back end stuff, and that helped with my introvert part. Is I can utilize and leverage my skill sets of not having to be up front, outside, doing podcasts or things like that, even though people keep on pushing me to get onto those YouTube or stuff like that. I created a page, but I still haven't posted anything. But you get what I'm saying? So I use or leverage my skill set there to help people on the back end. So, you know, I do my stuff quietly.
I love it.
Is there a particular industry that you're good at, or you help all like any industry?
Any industry lately, the beauty industry and barber industry kind of adopted me, which I'm very very happy about it. I'm honored. But I don't have any specific industry. So the good part is that I love working with anything. That business is my passion. I love being able to see how people came up with ideas or being so creative. I'm more of I analyze a lot, so I'll find solution. You get what I'm saying? But I don't
Mhm.
feel like I'm. Well, I guess I can be talented to see the vision of people and being able to find a path, right? To strategize. But per se, I don't know how to draw. I cannot draw a bunny. Okay. I don't know how to dance or, I mean, I can't do a 1-2 step, but you get what I'm saying? Like a talent. Some people are talented and the writers, people who do poetry. I could totally see you, Jed, doing that. You're good at writing. But you see what I mean? So I love being able to help those creative with putting their passion and their dream into something that is lucrative and not at risk, if that makes
I
sense.
love it. Yeah, so it sounds like you're kind of lending like your brain and like your logic and like your systems to all these people that just want to get out there and create and put their art
Yes.
and creativity out into the world. So that's
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. That's exactly it. You nail it.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, I was part of a couple of business programs. Some of them are good. Some of them I think definitely put the emphasis on marketing above all else. Like before people in the program really had anything to market or sell.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of the times maybe you do have an idea to sell or market, but like you said, you don't have that back end taken care of. And I think that that's so short-sighted. I
Yeah.
know that it's not fun, it's kind of boring to do all that stuff, but if you're selling like your product or your service and you don't have that back end figured out, I mean, sooner or later you're going to get a big reality check and you could find yourself in a serious situation.
Yeah, or I'm going to give the example that you just said. When people want to push marketing and they want to pay for ads or they're going to pay somebody, they're going to find the money to have someone to do their flyers or do their website a certain way. And that's the most nice website ever. But there is no terms and condition that they have worked on or think about. There is no policies of return. There is no proper payment processor. There is no a condition for shipment and things like that. How do you handle someone that say, I didn't like it, I want my money back? If you don't have those things that are in place and in your website, you're screwed. They can't sue you. They can't, that's the new thing is when people do a chargeback, right? So they're gonna get the stuff, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, this is not true," or I didn't authorize this," and they do a chargeback. So for goods, that's fine because you can show that there is a tracking and you make it over there. But for services like myself, I had a couple of people who tried the chargeback, and this is a very long, lengthy process. And if you don't know and you don't have your stuff in place and understanding, you get screwed over because they already got my I get paid for the knowledge of what I say, what's come out of my mouth or in my emails. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like I can take it back. They already got it. So those are all the things. Like I said, if you want to push so much the marketing, but your back end is not ready, you ain't gonna go nowhere. You ain't gonna go nowhere,
That
right?
that that's
So
that is 100% accurate. Both of you, I agree with. The back office stuff, the back end stuff is crucial. One thing that I've learned in this last year is that whatever your business, there's always something wrong. No business like
yeah,
there's never a time where your business is operating 100% great. There's always something wrong, and so
mhm,
I'm constantly looking like on my website. I'll look a couple times a day, and sure enough, I'll see I got to change this price. Or there was one time I had a sale image for a sale that was supposed that ended in January and it was March. So I'm like, how much business did I lose
yes,
because someone tried to enter a code that didn't work? I've had to check my terms. Somehow the link broke and I had to like put it back up. I've had to
Mhm.
check emails. Like there's always something wrong. So
There's
it's
so
not,
many things that
yeah.
business have to handle, and
Right.
you guys have an LLC, but if you don't have employees, I mean, legally you are an LLC, right? That means that limit your liability. But again, there is some other things. So now I'm going to talk about the legal part of it. That, oh, I have an LLC and things like that. If you don't set up your LLC properly, you don't have an operating agreement, you don't have a contract, you don't have those terms and condition in your website to, protect yourself, you don't have a business insurance, it doesn't matter. In the court of law, they will look at you as a sole proprietor and they will pierce that and they'll take whatever they can, right? So that's what I'm saying. We don't have employees who can have eyes on the website and make sure that it's updated properly. And we didn't forget to remove that flyers of January because we're in March or things like that. So that's where the processes and system are very important when you run your business yourself. We have 17 hats, right? And on top of that, we got to smile and do some content, you know, right? So it's like it can very easily be overwhelming. So you're gonna make some mistake. So you want the mistake to be the less costly to you. So by having the
Right.
system and processes, it will help you to avoid all that. So I'm probably like, some people that are like, I don't have time to, in my phone, I have like notes and things and alarm for a lot of things. So annual report will be on my calendar and 30 days prior to due dates, it will pop up and I'll take care of it. You see what I mean? Like a lot of like, it's small like that, but you have to do those things. You have to put those system in place to say when you have your promotion, for example, Jay is okay. I'm going to do a promo for Valentine's Day, and it's going to end on the 14th or 15th, right? Then you need to have a reminder on your phone saying on the 15th, remove that thing from my website or make sure that it's done. You see what I mean? Or
Hmm.
sometimes, depending on the type of website that you have, I do a lot of Wix website, but your website is amazing, by the way. But sometimes they have those things in place. So, are you utilizing all the automation that your website that you're paying, right? You're paying. Are you utilizing properly all the automation that are available to you? Or
Right.
sometimes you can have this done like on my website I have something that says boom, after that time that promotion code is not going to work and then this thing will be removed, so I don't have to remember, it will do it automatically. So you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, let's not beat ourselves up, but being aware of it is where it's very important and doing something about it. So yeah.
That's
Absolutely. I mean, it's like you don't have a department, you don't have an accounting department, you don't have a tax department to find. Like you are all of these departments. You are legal, you are accounting, you are marketing, you are sales. Like
yeah.
Yes and
you are
no.
risk.
Yes at first, but being able. That's why I when I went through this, I didn't create that 4 week program like the first year that I've done that because I was still
Mhm.
learning and making all the mistakes that needed to be made for me to create that. But what I'm saying is, um, there is system and processes. For example, you're gonna have QuickBooks. That's like something that everybody knows about. But a lot of people, they don't invest right away. They don't think that this is the most important part. They're gonna invest more in their what? Website first,
Hmm.
that they're gonna pay for that website, they're gonna pay for that flyer, they're gonna pay for that marketing person, right? To do something instead of having the back end ready to, did I negotiate my payment processor properly? Did I talk to my bank to see if they could, align themselves with PayPal, and so I pay less fee and I have more in my pocket for every sweatshirt that I'm selling. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
I know it's not something that you decide that as soon as you become an LLC owner that you'll have the knowledge. But what I'm saying is investing in, if you have $500 and you just started your LLC, I would invest in having a consultation with someone that's knowledgeable and can at least warn you or make you aware of the things that are very legit and important. Then you do whatever you want, but at least you have a list of things that you should take care of. And then you walk your way through it. But the accounting that you were talking about, Steph, there is QuickBooks, and they have a lot of promotion that it's what, $13 to $15 a month. You can cancel Netflix and do that if you're really into your business. So that's personally what I've done. So, all right, I'm gonna go a little personal, but for people to understand. I'm from France. No family here, just me and my daughter. So immigrant entrepreneur. Went through physical, mental, all that kind of stuff back in 2016, 2017, and a divorce. Um, Mama, all that stuff. Credit. Okay, yeah, I have a social, but they keep on telling me I don't have any credit history. I don't. So, you know what I mean? So I had to learn financial literacy when it was the most critical time for me to have money or make money. And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to cut everything off that can, bring money out of my budget. So I realized very early on that I can't continue like this, or I'm never going to be able to do the stuff that I would like to. I used to work in a high school, and I loved the job for the kids, but definitely not for the money. It was, that government job so my daughter could grow, and if I have to take off and she's sick and I know I'm not going to have any problem. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I'm driving over there. I'm like, is this it? Is that what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? And so all this was like, okay, I gotta cut out some stuff, some comfort. I don't need that TV because I need to learn about this credit thing. I don't need that TV. And I was paying UVerse I think like $189 a month. Cut that off. That's $189 now that I can use for something else. Then I cut all kinds of stuff. And then from that was also I need to stop being unhealthy. So I work on my health. My health provide me clarity. Cause, and then all my free time, because I was still working, still have, a young girl at the house. So I was like, all right, from 9 to 10:30, every day you're going to learn something, or you're going to own your skill set on something while you're building the business and things like that. You see what I mean? So that was all that. So I made first is the investment in myself. Then I was able to make the investment in the business. And then little by little, I learned all those things and tricks I help a lot of people by looking at their budget, and they say they don't have one. We build one together, and then I show them that within their personal budget, I found them $500.
That's
Now we
awesome.
can do this for the business. You tell me I don't have money. Yes, you do.
So I have a question for you. It's kind of dovetailing on your personal story. You're from France. How did you end up in Chicago from France?
My ex.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yes, my ex was American.
Okay.
So we were living in France, and so I'm from corporate. In Paris, I was in the fashion industry. I love my job. For over 18 years, I was in the fashion industry in Paris. And I was traveling for work, China or to all my factories and stuff. But he never adjusted to Parisian lifestyle. So I wanted to go back, and then it was already rocky at that time. But I was like, you do whatever you can to make something work, and that still didn't work. So it was
All right.
time to make the change. So there you go.
All right. Fair enough.
So I get there.
Fair enough.
Definitely not choosing Chicago. Chicago is very nice,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very
Yeah,
cold.
I bet.
I can imagine.
This don't do well with that.
Oh my god.
Like, I'm so pale right now. It doesn't make no sense.
Oh my god.
But is Chicago home now? Like, have you considered, going, if not going back to Paris, like moving somewhere else, or is like you just
Yes, moving somewhere else for sure. So my
Mhm.
daughter is now 21 and she's doing well for herself, and she have her own place and she have a great job, and she's growing very nicely. So and so I'm very proud of her for this. Of course, I want to still stay being able to be around. So that's the only part, is because she moved out since she was 18, but I want to stay around. Just, 18 is still very young, right?
Mhm.
So it's just her and I. So I don't want, a part of me don't want to just, get up and leave, but I know she's good.
Right.
It's just, part of you is still like, just in
Mhm.
case she's gonna
Has
Yeah.
she
hate if she
ever
see this.
has she ever
Like,
thought about moving somewhere else? Like, could you guys? Okay,
yes, both of us, we love the sun and,
okay,
being
I'm right
warm.
there with you.
But
If I could leave New York
yes,
City tomorrow, I would be on the first fucking plane out of there.
yeah. Oh, well, so
Yeah,
you and I can understand each other with that
yeah.
weather stuff, right? This is
I
insane,
can't deal
girl.
with it.
I can do it.
Every winter, I'm like,
Ev-
oh, why am I still here? And then I just don't leave, and I repeat the cycle the
Mhm.
next year.
Yeah, I was going to
Yep,
ask
yep.
that. I was going to say, are you going to ask you leave, Steph, or are you going to
I
be
will
here next year
100%
saying
be
I
here
want to leave?
next year. I will
Oh.
be here till I'm 95. I ain't going nowhere. I just want to come. I'm a New Yorker. I'm going to complain about it every winter. But like,
Every
where would
winter?
I
Okay.
go? That's the thing.
Ask yourself this question. Now, so I'm 48 now, and I'm like, it's time to, it's
Right,
time. So now I'm like, there is nothing that can stop me. What I do, I can do it from
right,
anywhere. Literally. All I need is a good
right,
connection. That's it. Right? So what stopped me?
right.
Really? Nothing. So that's the same thing. When I did that 360 in my life, or I shouldn't say 360, it's more an evolution, like evolving, right? We all growing all the
Absolutely.
time. You're not the same person, is not the same Steph as last year. There is something that has changed. You might still be in New York, I might still be in Chicago, but we're not the same.
Absolutely.
Something, right? So you got to ask yourself, like, what, like, instead of just dreaming about it and like you said, complaining about it, it's like, what is it that makes you
Well, my
stay?
husband is like, we're not going
Ah,
anywhere.
well,
Yeah.
that's a good reason.
Yeah.
That's a good reason.
My husband's like, I'm not going to make this kind of money somewhere else, so we're staying here. Fair enough, but I'm going to still complain about it until eventually I get on his
Yeah.
nerves enough that he says, you know what? Let's go.
Or you can, in the wintertime, go on freaking
Yeah,
vacation. Like, keep all the, right?
absolutely.
Because I believe, I haven't, believe it or not, I haven't been to New
Okay.
York.
Really?
The
Wait,
United
you
States
haven't
is
been to New
huge.
York?
Yeah.
Wow. Come
Mm.
visit.
Yes, you
Yeah.
got to go.
I'm not really
Well, to
selling it
me,
that
I'm
well.
like, if I have to visit, I would rather visit
Yeah,
Hawaii.
no,
I
I
would
don't blame
rather
you.
visit California. You know what I mean? So, because I'm from
Yeah,
Paris, so it's also in another big city.
right.
So I would rather seeing something I haven't seen. So I did Arizona, I did
I
Florida,
love
I
Arizona.
did, you know,
Oh
right?
my God, that
Sedona,
weather is
beautiful.
like perfect. Like I'm a desert bunny. That's what I want to be. Um, but whatever. A girl can dream. One day I will live in Sedona in my own exclude. Like I want to live on the mountains in Sedona.
Yeah, so that's the other part of the introvert part, is I'm dreaming of having my own little spot with nobody, like just laying
Mhm.
around and having a couple of chicken and
Yeah,
and just doing my thing. You get what I'm
thousand
saying?
percent.
And if people want to come for a retreat or whatever, fine. But then y'all gotta go
Right.
because this is my space. You see what I
Absolutely.
mean? So that's where I'm a nature person. I need to be outside. I need to, but I need my own
Absolutely.
space.
Yeah, I like people
Yes.
in like medium-sized doses. Jay likes them in very small doses. I'm like, medium is good.
Yeah, I would say similar to you because I had to. Um, I went to a birthday party on Saturday, and people were just shocked to see me there,
That's so
literally.
funny.
But I wanted to do that for my client. That was her birthday
Oh,
and
how
stuff like
nice.
that. So but I had a time limit, so I was telling people in 5 minutes,
That's so
I'm out of here.
funny.
But that's the same thing is I became a little bit more. That's why I said introvert, extrovert, because there is a part that I have to
Hmm.
be more outgoing, but I realize that I'm more outgoing in settings like
Yes.
this.
Well, 'cause you have control of your environment, so like you're able to talk to us while also being in a comfortable environment. So like my
Yes,
mom is
Yep.
always just like, "Why do you like podcasting more than you like going out?" I'm like, "Well, because I can be at home, like
yeah,
in my t-shirt, and I
yeah,
don't have to put on jeans or makeup or anything, and it's fine. But I can still socialize."
correct. How about you, Jay? When was the last time you did something outside?
I told you I went to the doctor
Wow,
today.
Oh
that's
yeah,
more than
Is that not is
wow.
that
That's
not
funny.
is that
that's
not
the
enough?
life that
Yeah.
don't count. This is like
What you mean? What you mean that don't count?
life
Are
That was
you
requirement.
it's a very
are you
personal
doing anything
experience.
for
What are you
the
talking about?
Super Bowl?
Me?
Yes, I am.
Oh
I am
him.
going. I am going to watch the Super Bowl at
Okay,
home
love that.
on my couch. And so Thanksgiving, French, just so you know, I've taken into like catering for certain occasions. So Thanksgiving was catered by Popeyes. This year, I don't know. It's probably not going to be Popeyes. It might be Wingstop. That's kind of been
I
how
like
it's been
it.
for me. So I might do catering by Wingstop
Nice.
for Super Bowl, but it'll just be me. I think that's
Me,
enough. There's,
myself,
there's,
and
there's
I.
only,
That's
you know,
three people.
yeah, exactly. Like I get, listen, I tell folks I have a king size couch, so it's only just enough room for the king. So I'm
Amazing.
sorry,
There
everybody
you
else,
go.
but
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah,
I love it. Yeah, so I've never been, but even growing up, I realize now, most of the sport that I used to do were like individual sports. And then I love swimming. Swimming is quiet under the
Interesting.
water. It was like very
Right.
soothing, things like that. And then, but yeah, most of the things that I've been doing were individual sports.
That's
So,
interesting.
um, so I didn't have to mingle so much. My
yeah.
daughter is complete opposite.
Really, I think that's how
Like
it goes.
the most outgoing
That's
girl
how it
ever.
goes.
So, oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
and growing up, she was like in all sports team, track and field,
Yeah.
gymnastic, volleyball, like the whole thing that you have 10 girls,
Right.
sometimes, at the house but she's the only child. So she was always looking for,
Right.
that interaction. But yeah, but same thing, like growing up, I have an older sister. My older sister is super outgoing, doing dance classes, cooking classes, and me, all I wanted to do was like leave me alone and go to sports.
Right.
And I was never like she was sneaking out to go to parties and stuff like that. I was the good child staying home, asking my parents like what we're watching tonight, playing chess board with my dad. And that was my Saturday
Absolutely.
nights, chess board with my dad, watching an American movie, and being fed by the my mom with beautiful, dishes. You see what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
It was wonderful. I didn't leave my house until I got married. This is
Wow,
how.
that's so funny.
So that's why I tell people when they say, "Oh, now I'm divorced for a couple of years." They're like, "Oh, but you're not doing this or this." I'm like, I'm living the life of a 20-year-old right now. I never lived on my
Right.
own. I left my parents to be married, to have a child, to you know what I mean? So that's my time of experimenting and experiencing all the stuff that's most 18, 20 years old. And then I'm from France. We don't have the university stuff.
Right.
When we go for studying, it's usually we don't leave our
Right.
parents' house unless you go in south of France or whatever. But it's still not the same party type of
Oh,
studies that you guys are doing.
it's more partying than studying, I'll tell you that. There's not a lot of
Why?
studying
That's
is
4 years.
happening.
That's four.
I
That's
don't,
a very
I don't know what y'all
expensive
Oh
talking
four
my
about.
years
God.
of
I like if
vacation.
I could go back
I
and
don't know.
shake my 18-year-old self and be like, you don't need to do this. Like I would.
That's not you
Yeah,
though. That's your society. So my daughter didn't went the college
okay,
route.
smart.
My daughter graduated early and she want to be an interior
Wow.
designer. Unless you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or you don't need to go to
Right.
college. You can be educated or do the form of, learning your skill set
Do
while
trade
doing.
school. Yeah.
So we didn't do the college
Good for
route.
you.
And she's perfectly fine. She have a full-time job and she's hybrid. So that means she only have to go 10 days out of the month to the office. The rest is
Wow.
at home. And she start working at 18. She had, this job and she's salaried.
Amazing. And 21, so that's huge. And she's doing
And
what she wants to
21.
do, so that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Last year she went to Florida with a friend and was with her laptop working by
I
the
love it.
poolside.
There you go.
that's the
Right?
dream. That is the
Yeah, the
dream right
So
whole
there.
college thing in the US is like freaking insane.
I'm not saying
No,
it's
it's not wrong. It's
wrong, but
just
I feel like
yeah, it's
it's
so
overpriced.
overpriced. Oh my God.
And then they all tell you that, right? You go to school and they tell you you got to go to college or
Exactly.
things like that.
Growing up,
I work in a
it
high
was my
school,
only
remember?
option. That's what I was told. In my head, I was like, okay, it's either college or be a bum, and that's like,
Yeah.
That's when they
yeah,
make you feel bad, like that
crazy.
too. That was the same thing that they did to my daughter as
Wow.
well. Like the principal was asking, like, because she had like high
Mhm.
GPA and everything, but that
Right.
was
They're like, are
not,
you
you know
gonna
what I
throw
mean?
your life away and not go to college? Like, okay, like way to gaslight me into spending a shit ton of money. Like,
Uh huh. Yeah. And when you think about it, I look at the study. I love studies. Is that 45% of people are not utilizing the diploma
right.
that they got in their actual
Right.
life.
Yeah, I mean, I will say I'm
Right.
very fortunate. Like, I actually am using, I'm just a complainer today, apparently. I'm sorry. Um, but I graduated 9 years ago from Penn State, and I actually graduated with a degree that I still use 9 years later. Like, I am
Okay.
100% doing what I went to school for, which is very rare at 30, to be still doing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's Monday. It's February. I didn't have a lot of coffee today, so I'm like mad about college, apparently.
No, well, that's good. That's good. That means that you now you know that you work what you're working and what you're
Yeah,
making for, paying. But to be honest, it's like it's overpriced
absolutely.
though. I'm like, I have degrees from France, right? And it was, probably not even 2 or 3% of what it would cost here.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's out of control, and the price keeps going up. Like what? How is that
Yeah.
Yes.
possible?
Yes. For what? For things that are going to be becoming obsolete with AI
Exactly.
now.
Right. It's
So,
I feel
mhm.
very fortunate that I got into the workforce when I did, as opposed to somebody who just graduating now, because I have like that human experience, that human background. Like my job is not being
Yes.
replaced by AI anytime soon. However, if I was 6, 7 years younger and I had less seniority, I would be a little worried.
Mhm. Mhm. That is
Exactly.
true. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's why it's important to continue to take the time to learn more
Yeah,
skill set, own some new skill set. Like I never stopped. That's not another thing that I vowed when I decided that, this is it. I need to do something that, I'm happy in my life and things like that is every year I give myself a challenge physically and mentally. That means I need to do something that is going to be good for my health and continue to boost me. And two, I need to learn or own on another skill set. So over the years, I continue. So the first year was, all right, nobody want to explain to me this about the business, or I keep being denied for this. So now I need to learn financial literacy. So first was financial literacy, right? Because we needed that. Second was the structure. Now I realized that I was not able to grow on certain things because of the structure of my business. So I realized that, okay, I need to learn that. Three was, after that was the legality. So I also work with a fitness and wellness business with my business partner. And so, and we do supplementation, health supplementation, organic supplementation. And so that's where we had to understand the importance of contract, the importance of insurance, the importance of trademark, all those kind of things. So I'm like, that's a lot of legal stuff. We invested in talking to a business lawyer. And from that, I'm like, I mean, we did this because we see the importance of it, but I mean, 90% of small business owner will not invest in talking to a business lawyer. So I was like, all right, let me learn all this stuff so I can at least provide the fundamentals of legal structure and what to do and what not to do, or the big no-nos of certain things, right? And so now I start learning business law since 2021, and then now I'm going to pass my paralegal certification. So you see what I mean?
That's
Yes.
awesome.
So each year I vow to something else gonna be valuable in this body, right? That brain's gonna keep on growing because you have people that talk about credit. It goes. At some point, AI is gonna be able to fix all this, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Um, you see what I mean? So I
Yeah.
have to continue getting something, brain juice flowing, to continue, learning some new things.
That's awesome. It's definitely, yeah. You definitely agree with investing in oneself, and I am definitely a proponent of investing in myself, and I will. So with that said, it's time for me to invest in some food because I'm hungry. Typically, we record these episodes until Steph gets hungry, but every now and then I throw a curveball and I get
And
hungry.
that's you.
I get hungry first. So I don't know. She started talking about investing in yourself, and I'm like, that's a good point. I'm hungry.
Yes. Well, you need to feed yourself for sure. Yes.
You know,
And we've been
sometimes
talking for like, almost an hour. So I think that's a good
it's
amount.
important. It's important to feed your mind, but also feed your body. And
Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
exactly.
Yep.
Balance,
Yep.
people. Balance. All about balance.
They can find me on Instagram where I am banned.
He's banned from going live.
I'm banned from going live, but I'm shadow banned, so that means my account is not going to be shared or anything. But anyway, I'm on Instagram. I'm still active on there because I want to nurture the people who are on within my network. At Frenchie underscore the dot connector. And I give, I would say tips or, information about business in general. And then most of the time, also a little bit of a dose of realness. I'll say,
No,
yeah, I got
she was
banned
trying
from
to be
life
funny.
for a year for stupid stuff, for just using a word that everybody use all the time or make reels about it. But, I guess it's okay to show tatas and all the stuff, but uh so anywho, but yes, they can find me on Instagram, and pretty much my offers is, if you I have different offers, so they can check my
Okay.
website. It's on the link in my bio, because it's not a one thing fits
Mhm.
all. You know, anyone who's gonna look and listen to that replay might have different needs. So, but I would say that assessment of where you at with your business foundation, and then talking to me and saying this is what I'm trying to
Mhm.
do, then that will help me to be able to help them
I
further.
love it.
That's it.
I love it. We will put all of that in the show notes for everybody. But if you guys love this episode, be sure to follow us on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever else you get your podcast. We're probably there. And don't forget to leave us a review, and we will catch you next Tuesday. Stay introverted.
All right, y'all. We appreciate it.